This is the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland. For many, the bay is a sportsman's paradise, offering some of the finest fishing and boating on the Atlantic seaboard. But for two men, the bay offers a different challenge, a challenge that quickens the heartbeat of anyone who's ever dreamed of adventure and excitement. That challenge is the pursuit of treasure. Bob Trevillian and Frank Carter devote much of their time to recovering lost gold, silver, precious gems, and collectibles from the waters of the bay. There are those who search the deep-sea coastline of Florida and the islands of the Caribbean, diving on sunken sailing vessels lost hundreds of years ago in the waters of the Western Hemisphere, marked by treacherous reefs and piracy. Their goal, ancient jewelry, gold doubloons, pieces of eight, and nautical artifacts. But their ventures are costly, requiring huge sums of money to finance the deep-sea diving equipment and investigative research required to pursue this lost treasure. The sunken valuables do exist, but the highly skilled divers and equipment required to bring them to the surface are so costly that even wealthy investors are easily discouraged by initial failure. This is not where the dream of treasure ends for Bob Trevillian and Frank Carter. They work in shallow water surf, and they have found a resource in the Chesapeake Bay known to few people. Their investment is minimal, but the rewards are great. Coins and jewelry lost by bathers who frequent the many swimming beaches along the shores are their target. Not big-time treasure. Their search requires little capital, only a few inexpensive pieces of equipment, a little experience, and a bit of determination. They are, in the end, drawn by the excitement and a chance to escape into a world of adventure. Frank and Bob have been searching for treasure for over 15 years. Their search has netted them well over $350,000 in recovered valuables in only 6 years since they gave up their full-time occupations to hunt for treasure. The amazing fact is that similar caches of treasure lie in shallow water sites all over the world, waiting to be found. In the mid and late 1800s, Americans began a lasting romance with beaches. Resort towns began to appear along the shores of the Chesapeake Bay. The great watering places of Europe were a long distance away, and travel was affordable only to the wealthy. The many resort sites along the bay offered escape and recreation. Crowds flocked there during the summer season. Some sites competed with Barnum-like attractions. A vacation on the bay was something to write home about. Many resorts issued their own postcards. Vacation time on the bay was a relaxing change from work and an escape from the hot summer. Bathing was the main attraction. In the gentle bay surf, canoeing and boating were safe even for the novice. Dance pavilions, even fireworks, enlivened the evening hours. But the resorts offered all sorts of entertainment for Papa, Big and Little Brother, Mama, and the girls in a variety of arcades, bandstands, and concessions. Day trips brought steamer loads of families to picnic. Hotels, inns, and boarding houses provided weekly accommodations. There were even large amusement parks. The Chesapeake Bay was a summer playground. Steamboats, whose names are remembered fondly by generations, ferried the well-to-do, along with their best finery, cash, and valuables to vacation on the bay. The bay steamer was part of the lifestyle of those who lived near the Chesapeake. Some 100 years after their birth, the beach resorts crumbled, but not the treasure that summer inhabitants left behind. Derelict boats rot in the shallows, abandoned to marine life. Piers are storm-wrecked and broken. A rusted ticket machine is all that remains of an old amusement park. The majority of the bay beaches are forgotten. Some have been replaced by condominiums. Very few remain active swimming beaches. But the shallow waters with their wealth of buried treasures remain. It is from these shallow waters that Bob and Frank have recovered a staggering amount of lost valuables, netting some $40,000 apiece for the two men each year. On an average day, they bring home $200 worth.
When a swimmer enters the water, he rarely remembers to remove the rings and jewelry from his fingers. A ring may slip off and fall to the bottom. It's impossible to locate it without a metal detector.
Once I locate the object with the search coil of my metal detector, I use my foot to mark the exact location. I let the detector float to the surface so I can work without it getting in my way. Using a metal retriever, I bring the bucket of the tool into position behind the heel of my foot. From there on, the procedure is just like using a shovel. Sometimes it might take a few scoops to bring the target to the surface, depending on how deeply it's buried in the bottom. Each bucketful gets dumped into a screen sifter. The sifter separates sand and debris from the treasure, leaving the item exposed on the surface of the screen.
Each article is a surprise, from a lone penny to a diamond ring that may be worth thousands of dollars. Bob and Frank hunt every day. Their largest find is a diamond ring valued at $13,000. There are truly diamonds in the surf.
How'd you do, Frank?
I got a nice initial ring and two wedding bands.
Do you know I hit these two school rings about 2 feet from each other? Oh, I like that bracelet. Antique, definitely silver. I got a couple silver halves also and a few mercury dimes. You know, for a while there, I really thought we were going to a bonanza.
Well, I believe there's some diamond rings out there, Bob. What do you think?
I just hope you're right. Let's go.
Let's hit it.
When winter turns cold, Bob and Frank move their operation inside. It's there that they identify and evaluate their treasure, sometimes sharing sessions with weekend treasure hunter Bill. Jewelry, coins, and collectibles only pay off if value is accurately determined.
In very fine to extra fine, she's somewhere between $45 and $70.
Yeah, she's right on that right side of the center, Bob.
Yeah, it takes it down a little bit in value.
But you know, sometimes if you don't see that inclusion or something in there,
she'll go good. You get a good price for that if you decide to sell it. I don't know if you want to or not.
Bob and Frank have become somewhat experts on the treasure they recover from the Chesapeake.
It's supposed to be a sapphire, but I doubt that it is. It's not real.
yeah.
They have accumulated gold and silver, not by the ounce, but by the pound.
You know, U.S. coins are fine, and I enjoy collecting them, but I gotta tell you, I have a soft spot in my heart for these tokens. I don't think people today realize what these tokens are gonna be all about.
I know they're getting to be quite valuable.
Take a look at that. You just don't see workmanship like that anymore.
I tell you,
They're not making tokens anymore. They're gonna be so valuable in years to come. Coin dealers are starting to recognize them a bit now, but
Right.
I
Let me
think
see
they're,
the back of that.
yeah.
And of course, jewelry. From traditional school and signet rings to fine custom designs, some dating back into the 19th century. Diamonds, rubies, emeralds, sapphires.
Frank, show him that one here.
Oh, yeah.
That's very unusual. Take a look at that bill.
What do you think of that, Bill?
Garnets or rubies?
They're garnets. I like to see them be rubies.
Well, there's a lot of workmanship in this ring.
It's really nice, isn't
Doesn't
it?
look like one of your...
So, it's about the most unusual piece I've ever seen.
Think of that one. That is a snake ring, Bill.
Oh yeah, two little diamond eyes.
Those things are sought after pretty good, you know.
I've never
now.
seen one of these dug up.
They made them along the 50s, honestly, Walshy.
Since beginning their treasure hunting, the two have digested every bit of information they can acquire on precious stones.
That's the one.
Certified appraisals from a gemologist are desirable for resale to the public. But Bob and Frank make it a point to educate themselves on the basic properties of precious stones and the variables that determine value.
You know, you have your pear-shaped stones and your solitaires and all the different angles, but this thing here, I've just never seen a stone shaped like a star before. It's extremely unusual.
If all treasure items were cut and dry as gold and silver and precious jewels, everything would be a breeze. But there's some items we actually don't know the value of, and we're not going to sell them until we know what they're all about.
Some items remain mysteries. There are many collectors worldwide who will pay top prices for these. Fortunately for the hunter, these turn up quite often. Obscure collectibles like radio and television premiums, lead toys, crackerjack favors, novelty rings. Vintage tokens are intriguing. Many are extremely scarce and bring excellent prices from a growing number of collectors.
You know, some of the businesses in the past, you know, they had bought massive bunches of tokens and printed on the back of their advertisements.
Yeah, but you couldn't get a design like this as inexpensive as they got it, because this is just super design here, I'll tell you. I like that.
I think that was fantastic.
Oh, look at that tree. This one says White Brothers and Company, Willow, California, and they use the willow tree as their logo there. I like that. Technically, I guess you could call this a token, but it is definitely religious in nature. It's some sort of souvenir of the pilgrimage, it says, in New York. But and there's a cathedral in the back. Technically, she may be a medallion, she may be a token. It's hard to say.
She's brass. You hardly
this is definitely brass. She's got a much higher tone.
You hardly ever find any out of rare metal.
Yeah.
Occasionally, non-metallic items are scooped up by chance. An antique bottle lying on the bottom next to a silver coin may be brought to the surface.
This old bottle was a nice old find, but not quite as old as this one. This bottle is about 200 years old.
Research is the key for the highly successful hunter. It takes a different kind of digging at the library or historical society to open the door to the past. The two men searched for references made to recreational life on the Chesapeake when the beaches thrived. Casual mention of a small bathing site included in the history of the bay can lead to recovery of lost treasure.
There it is right there. It's the same thing.
Including this one.
An article in an old newspaper may provide a clue, but the single most productive source of locating treasure beaches is not in written form.
Oh, when I was a kid, there were beaches everywhere. People enjoyed getting away for the day and swimming. I remember these spots so well because I loved to go there for the day. As I recall, the beach was right here, and the pavilion faced east.
So most of the swimming went on right around here.
That's right, but they did swim further down the shore, in this area, too.
So you're talking as far back as the 1920s.
Yes, it might even be older than that.
Today, they search a new location. Before unloading equipment at a new site, they check tide and water conditions.
Oh, we're in pretty good shape. We've got a couple hours before low tide, so I think we're all right. Let's get our gear on.
All right, sounds good.
Bob and Frank have designed their own tools for the quick recovery of treasure. The wire screen sifter, made of inner tube tires stretched around a chicken wire frame and then tied with a rope. The essential tool is the submersible metal detector, which emits a signal when the coil passes over any metal object. This particular detector that Frank and Bob use reaches metal objects buried to a depth of 24 inches in the bottom. The signal is heard through a mechanical vibrator, which is housed in the headphones they wear. The power pack is replaced with a fresh set of batteries for the morning search. The retriever has a stainless steel bucket, perforated to drain quickly, and a long handle. This tool penetrates sand, hard clay, or gravel. Most of the year, beachcombers wear divers' wetsuits to compensate for cool water temperatures and to protect against the sting of sea nettles and jellyfish, which populate the bay at certain seasons.
I don't know how many thousands of rings I have dug over the years. By now you'd think that the excitement would wear off, but it hasn't. Each time I see the shiny yellow glitter in the screen, I get the same thrill all over again.
Small gold wedding band over here, gentlemen.
You silver coins over here, but so far no gold. At least we know we're in the right spot.
I've been coming back to these same beaches for years now. But with tides and the effects of weather conditions, Mother Nature is always hiding more treasure just beyond the reach of our metal detectors. Sooner or later, the bottom changes, and those same items are waiting to be scooped up.
Hey, Bob! Take a look at this. Looks like some type of foreign coin.
Hold on a second, let me see what you got. After all these years, we still wonder how some of our finds came to be here.
Oh, that looks nice, Bill. That's a Chinese cash coin. That's a nice find. They used to use this years ago, back in the 1860s, as a means of exchange. I like that. That's fantastic.
People have moved on to pools, but the remaining beach inhabitants are curious.
Lots of signals over here, fellas. Getting a few coins.
We're in school ring territory, about a ½ an ounce.
Right.
Half an ounce is worth about $200, a good day's find. With all the territory waiting to be searched, there's got to be millions of dollars in lost treasure waiting to be found.
Uh-oh. Oh, yes. Diamond country. Frank, check this out. Look at that 3-diamond cluster. I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.